Ever wondered how 3 pennies can whisper secrets of a bygone era? Dive in as we decode the subtle shifts in design and history behind the 1969, 1968, and 1987 US pennies, each a tiny time capsule with a story to tell. In the midst of a nation undergoing transformation in 1969, the United States Mint was hard at work producing millions of coins that bore the image of President Lincoln and the stately depiction of the Lincoln Memorial. Within the controlled hum of machinery and the rhythmic clatter of coin presses, 1 penny emerged that would quietly rewrite its own destiny. In an era defined by change and social upheaval, even the most meticulously managed production lines could not completely escape the unpredictable hand of error. Amid routine operations at the Philadelphia facility, a subtle misalignment of the die resulted in an impression so delicate that it defied immediate detection. This minor deviation, affecting the contours of Lincoln's profile and blurring the inscription of the date, would eventually captivate the attention of those who understood that history often resides in the details. Within the orderly chaos of coin production, every element was designed to meet exacting standards honed over decades. Yet, even in such a regulated environment, the possibility of an imperfection existed, a small, unintended anomaly that went unnoticed in the swift pace of mass production. It was in this context that a single penny, marked by a slightly off-center strike, began its long, unassuming journey from the assembly line to becoming one of the most whispered about rarities among collectors. The error, far from being a glaring mistake, was a gentle ripple in an otherwise flawless process, a ripple that would grow into a wave of intrigue as time passed. In a modest suburban home, tucked away in a forgotten box in a dusty attic, a lifelong collector sorted through decades of carefully preserved coins. Amid the familiar faces of Lincoln and the time-worn edges of well-worn currency, his fingers brushed against a 1969 penny that at first seemed entirely ordinary. Yet, when he held it closer under the soft glow of a desk lamp, he noticed a peculiar nuance. The date appeared to fade into the background, and the fine lines of Lincoln's hair exhibited a subtle distortion. An inexplicable shiver ran through him as he realized that what he held was no mere relic of everyday circulation, it was a testament to an error that had slipped silently through the Mint's rigorous quality control. The initial moment of discovery was laced with a mix of disbelief and quiet exhilaration. The collector remembered reading that even the smallest flaw in the minting process was typically caught and corrected. Yet here was tangible evidence that not every imperfection was immediately remedied. Driven by an insatiable desire to understand the coin In 1968, a humble penny rolled off the mint's production line, destined to circulate among everyday Americans unaware of the secret it carried. Born during a time of intense social change and political upheaval, this coin emerged from a bustling U.S. mint where production quotas and rapid industrial processes often left little room for error. Yet on that fateful day, a minute misalignment in the minting die created an unintended doubling on the obverse, a subtle echo of Abraham Lincoln's features that transformed an ordinary coin into something altogether extraordinary. The error, unnoticed by many in its early days, was the quiet mark of a machine's slip in an era defined by precision and progress. A dedicated collector named Jonathan first encountered the coin in a modest box of relics passed down from his grandfather. As he methodically sorted through faded metal and time-worn inscriptions, his eyes caught a glimmer that was not like the rest. The portrait of Lincoln, usually so crisply defined, seemed to shimmer with a delicate doubling, a second image superimposed ever so faintly upon the original. Intrigued, Jonathan leaned closer, heart quickening with each careful inspection. There, amid a collection of coins that recounted the steady march of history, lay one that whispered of an unplanned anomaly. The realization struck him: a simple misstrike had imbued this penny with an aura of rarity that transcended its mundane origins. Jonathan's initial curiosity soon evolved into a quest for answers. He began poring over mint records and contacting veteran collectors, each conversation uncovering hints about the error's origins. In a series of hushed discussions and long nights spent combing through dusty archives, a picture began to emerge. The error was not simply a manufacturing flaw, but a snapshot of the mint's experimental phase during a turbulent time. The production process, hurried by the demands of a nation in flux, had inadvertently allowed a fleeting malfunction to occur, a momentary lapse that imprinted a ghostly duplicate of Lincoln's features onto the coin. This minor yet unmistakable deviation would, in time, captivate experts and enthusiasts alike. Over the following years, as word of the misstrike quietly spread among numismatists, the coin's journey took on a life of its own. It was initially dismissed by some as an insignificant error, a mere curiosity in the sea of mass-produced cents. But as collectors like Jonathan continued their investigations, the story deepened. Each revelation about the coin's minting background added layers of significance to its existence. The error, it turned out, was not an isolated incident. It was a byproduct of a period when the mint was experimenting with new die technology, a brief, unrecorded trial that left its mark on only a handful of coins. This connection to a moment of innovation, combined with the error's subtle beauty, elevated the coin from a forgotten misprint to a tangible link between past ambitions and present-day discoveries. The physical characteristics of the error only heightened its allure. Under magnification, the coin revealed a delicate doubling of Lincoln's portrait, a near mirage that seemed to capture two moments in time simultaneously. The misstrike was not overtly obvious at first glance, but for those who knew where to look, it was a masterclass in subtlety. The contours of Lincoln's face, usually rendered with a single, unified impression, now held a faint, overlapping image, a telltale signature of the mint's brief flirtation with an experimental die system. This unexpected twist was not merely an aesthetic oddity, it became a symbol of how even the smallest imperfections can tell a profound story of human endeavor, technological risk, and the relentless march of progress. As the coin began to circulate through specialized auctions and private exchanges, its value experienced a slow yet inexorable evolution. Initially traded among a tight-knit circle of collectors at modest sums, the penny's worth soon became a subject of fervent debate. Every new piece of evidence, every archived document or confirmed instance of the error, added an intangible richness to the coin's legacy. The error's mystique was amplified by the uncertainty surrounding its origin. Was it simply an accidental misfire in the assembly line, or was it the unintended product of an ambitious yet ill-fated experiment? Each theory only deepened the intrigue, leaving the community with more questions than answers, and driving up interest and, consequently, its market value. At numismatic conventions and in quiet corners of specialized forums, experts compared notes on the error's minute details. They scrutinized the degree of doubling, the precise location of the extra imprint, and even speculated on the possible effects of temperature and pressure during minting. Every nuance of the coin became a piece of a larger puzzle, one that connected the seemingly mundane world of currency production to the high stakes of technological innovation. As the coin's reputation grew, so did its price. Incremental increases in auction bids and private sales hinted at a value that was not only monetary but deeply symbolic, a value born from the interplay of history, error, and the human pursuit of perfection. Then, as the community of collectors had grown accustomed to theories and debates, an unexpected twist surfaced. Newly uncovered internal memos from the mint revealed that on the day the coin was struck, a pilot run of a new die system had been underway. This secret trial, hidden away in the archives and long dismissed as routine, suggested that the error was not solely a product of mechanical misfortune. Instead, it was a rare byproduct of deliberate innovation, a moment when the mint took a calculated risk to test new technology. The discovery sent ripples through the collector community. What had once been a simple misprint was now a celebrated milestone in the history of minting, a symbol of an industry pushing the boundaries of precision and creativity even under pressure. This twist recontextualized the entire narrative. The coin was no longer just a lucky accident, it was an artifact of a pivotal moment in industrial evolution. For Jonathan and others like him, the coin's story became a powerful metaphor for progress and the unexpected beauty that can emerge from human error. Each time he held the penny, he felt connected not only to the legacy of Lincoln and the storied history of the U.S. Mint, but also to the daring spirit of innovation that had, albeit briefly, altered the course of coin production. In that single, misprinted coin lay a testament to the idea that imperfections, when viewed through the right lens, can transform an ordinary object into a treasured piece of history. As the narrative of the 1968 U.S. penny era continued to unfold, the coin's journey intertwined with personal histories, scholarly research, and passionate debates. Its evolution in value and meaning was marked by every conversation at auction houses and every quiet moment of reflection by collectors who recognized that, sometimes, the most significant artifacts are those that bear the marks of an unexpected past. The coin, with its ethereal double image and storied genesis, stood as a subtle yet profound reminder that history is often written not in perfection, but in the fleeting imperfections that speak to our shared human experience. In the mid-1980s, coin production in the United States was an exercise in precision and consistency. Yet even in an era defined by mechanical perfection, human oversight and machinery quirks occasionally converged to create something unexpected. In 1987, amid the steady hum of minting presses and the diligent watch of inspectors, a humble penny emerged with an unusual deviation, a subtle double impression that transformed a standard piece of currency into a potential artifact of numismatic lore. At a time when the U.S. Mint prided itself on consistency, the 1987 penny carried the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on its obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on its reverse. Each coin was produced by carefully crafted dies designed to capture intricate details. However, during one production run, a minor misalignment occurred. The result was not a gross error but a delicate overlay, a faint, doubled image that manifested most noticeably in the contours of Lincoln's profile and around the printed date. It was as if a shadow of the original had been imprinted alongside it, hinting at an unseen story behind its creation. Years later, a seasoned collector, known among his peers for a discerning eye and a relentless passion for uncovering rarity, discovered this very coin tucked away in a forgotten corner of his collection. While sifting through a box of well-worn pennies from decades past, he was struck by the coin's unusual luster. Turning it over slowly, he noticed that the familiar details he'd come to expect from the Lincoln portrait now bore an enigmatic double image. The extra impression around the date was almost ghost-like, a reminder that something had gone awry during its creation. In that quiet moment, a mixture of excitement and disbelief washed over him. A single coin had suddenly become a doorway to a mystery he felt compelled to solve. Determined to understand the anomaly, the collector embarked on a journey of inquiry. He revisited old mint records, compared his coin to others from the same year, and sought out the opinions of experts in the field. In conversations with retired mint workers and established numismatists, he learned that the 1987 pennies were produced in vast numbers, their uniformity a point of pride for the mint. Yet here was evidence that even the most carefully controlled process could yield an imperfection. The coin's obverse, with its finely etched lines, now carried a nuance that was as captivating as it was perplexing. What had initially seemed like an insignificant mistake was gradually revealed to be a window into a rare moment of human and mechanical interaction. The narrative of the coin evolved as details emerged. Records indicated that during the production run in question, a temporary misalignment of the die had occurred. Rather than a complete failure of the process, this minor error produced a secondary, overlapping impression. Each line and curve that should have been rendered only once now appeared with a delicate, almost artistic doubling. The effect was subtle, requiring a keen eye to appreciate fully. For the collector, each discovery was a piece of a puzzle, a historical enigma that grew richer with every new detail uncovered. As news of the error spread through coin-collecting circles, the coin's value began to shift in unexpected ways. Initially, it had been dismissed by many as a minor irregularity, an anomaly with little significance beyond its odd appearance. However, as more collectors took note of the doubled impressions and the story behind the error, its worth started to climb. Auction houses began to feature the coin, and bidding wars ensued that sent its market value soaring. The once overlooked penny had, almost imperceptibly at first, become a coveted rarity, a tangible reminder that even in an age of mass production, singular imperfections could carry immense historical weight. The coin's evolving reputation was further fueled by quiet whispers among experts. Rumors emerged that the misalignment was not merely a random occurrence but might have been linked to a covert experiment in die preparation. Some speculated that, in an effort to test new techniques, a small team of mint officials had deliberately introduced slight deviations to push the boundaries of production precision. This notion, while initially dismissed by traditionalists, began to take root as additional coins exhibiting similar characteristics were identified. The idea that an intentional experiment had inadvertently produced a series of error coins lent an air of intrigue to the entire narrative. Suddenly, the coin was no longer just a product of misfortune but also a marker of innovation, a silent testament to the experimental spirit within the mint. Every detail of the coin began to take on new meaning. The doubled impression on the date, once seen as a mere accident, was reinterpreted as a deliberate signature of an experimental process. The subtle shadow encircling Lincoln's profile no longer detracted from the coin's beauty but instead added a layer of mystery that deepened its allure. For the collector, each examination of the coin was like peeling back the layers of a carefully constructed story. The tactile feel of the metal, the play of light on its surface, and the intricacies of its misaligned design all spoke of a moment when precision met imperfection, creating something unique and enduring. In the months that followed his initial discovery, the collector devoted countless hours to researching the coin's provenance and the circumstances that had led to its creation. His investigations revealed that the error, far from being an isolated incident, was part of a brief window of experimentation, a period when the mint was testing new die-setting procedures. This revelation added a profound twist to the coin's story. What was once a simple error now emerged as evidence of a hidden chapter in the mint's history, a secret experiment that challenged the very notion of what constituted a mistake. The coin had inadvertently captured a moment of innovation, a transient glimpse into the future of minting that had never been intended for circulation. The more the collector learned, the more the coin transcended its humble origins. Its market value continued to fluctuate in tandem with its growing legend, with each spike in demand underscoring the fascination that even a minor error could command. Auction results began to tell a story of their own, bids climbing higher as the narrative of intentional experimentation and accidental genius spread among collectors. The coin's price became a symbol of its layered history, a metric that, while fluctuating, reflected the deeper significance of a manufacturing anomaly that had captured the imagination of an entire community. In quiet moments of reflection, the collector often held the coin up to the light, marveling at the interplay of precision and accident that had shaped it. It was not merely a piece of metal but a relic imbued with the spirit of its time, a tangible reminder that even in systems built for uniformity, there exists room for the extraordinary. The coin's story was an ever-evolving tapestry, woven from threads of human error, mechanical precision, and a daring experiment that had blurred the line between accident and artistry. Each glance at its peculiar design sparked a new question, a fresh line of inquiry, and an unyielding desire to uncover more about the moment when history deviated ever so slightly from its expected course. In that singular coin, collectors found more than a monetary asset. They discovered a narrative of innovation, risk, and the enduring allure of the unforeseen. The 1987 penny error became a silent ambassador of a time when even the smallest miscalculation had the power to reshape history. It served as a testament to the idea that perfection is not always the ultimate goal. Sometimes, it is the imperfections that carry the most captivating stories. And in the case of this coin, the error was not a blemish but a blessing, a secret mark left behind by a process that dared to push beyond conventional limits. Every new discovery about the coin only deepened its mystique, inviting collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike to re-examine the familiar with fresh eyes. The tale of the 1987 penny error endures as a vivid reminder that in the world of coinage, as in life, unexpected twists can transform the mundane into the extraordinary.